follow-up video for the different types of stuttering. So if you missed my last video, make sure to go back and watch the other first one. I'll put the link down below so you guys can see it, and then you can come back and watch this one, because they're kind of like intertwined, kind of in a way. It's about stuttering. So yeah, so welcome if you're new. If you're not new, well, if you're new, please welcome and subscribe, and if you're not new, welcome back. Glad to have you here. Yeah, so like I said, if you haven't watched the last video, make sure to go and watch it. Yeah, so this is just a continuation of that video. Yeah, so I'm gonna be talking about the different levels of severity of stuttering. Okay, so I'm gonna be reading again because I cannot remember everything. I cannot try to memorize everything. It's because it's like 12 o'clock at night, and I'm just like, I really need to make this video, so I cannot try to memorize everything. So I'm going to be reading, so just bear with me, okay? Yeah, so the first okay, so it starts off with normal disfluency, which is a disfluency that is less than 10% of the time of 1 to 2 repetition of a word or a word or the first or the beginning of a word. For example, you repeat like a letter or a word 1 or 2 times at the beginning of a sentence or something like that. The normal disfluency. Okay, so this article is specifically talking about. It's mainly pertaining to children, but because mainly only children, well, not only, but mainly children are the one that is diagnosed with stuttering, and they say that, like, only 1% persists of the stuttering persists to adulthood. So this article, it's mainly talking about the different disfluencies in children. But I mean, I believe that it also that also pertain to us too as adults and stuff like that. So I'm just gonna go through them. So if I say children, just know I'm just informing you guys a little bit about the different severity of the different levels of severity of stuttering. So it says for the normal disfluency, it says for the child to be diagnosed as having normal disfluency, all characteristics of this level must be met. A child who shows in any of the characteristics of more advanced levels should be considered borderline or above. Frequency of disfluency must be less than 10%. Must be less than 10 per 100 word. Disfluency consists of multi-syllabic and phrase repetition, revisions and interjections. Repetitions are slow and even, and 2 or fewer occur per repetitive, sorry, that was a little tongue twister, repetitions. I don't know what I saw repetitive. It is repetition. Okay, whatever. In general, the child's disfluency appears relatively relaxed, and the child hardly seems aware of it. So I guess that's just it's just a few words that you repeat, or it blocks you a little bit, 1 or 2. You repeat it like 1 or 2 times in a sentence. I mean, in a word at the beginning of a sentence. But this type of severity is it's slow, and it's just a few repetition, and the person is not really aware of it because it's very mild. So the second one is borderline stuttering, which is for the frequency, like for the behaviors and stuff. It's the frequency of this fluency increased to more than 10%, repetitions increased to more than 2 per instance. Repetition remain loose and relaxed. So you're a little bit aware of the stuttering, and at that time you're a little bit a little bit concerned of it. So for that it says this child exhibits more than 2 disfluencies per 100 words. This level is characterized by 2-part word repetitions and single syllable whole word repetitions. More than 2 repetitions may occur per instance, but the disfluencies. Sorry, let me put my thing on mute because it's making noise. People are texting me. I'm sorry. So more than 2 repetitions may occur per instant, but the disfluencies at this level remain loose and relaxed. So it's still a more vague, not vague. It's still like a mild stuttering, but it's a little bit more it's like a little bit more frequency of stuttering, like about, it says it's 10% more, and it increases to more than two repetition, more than that, because the first one was about 1 to 2, and this one is more than 2 repetition of a word or a letter. So, and then the third one is beginning stuttering. This one, the behaviors are, so you get very tense. It's abrupt multiple part word repetitions, and it's a tense, and then you can also be tense. Well, you can also have characters of like a tense prolongations. So for this one, you're more aware of it, and you'll get a little fearful because of it, and you get like a little frustrated from it too. And most of the time you're aware of it. So it's saying that the most important features at this level are the presence of tension and hurry in the stuttering, which I do all the time, as well as the emergence of prolongations. The repetition may be rapid and abrupt, which means suddenly. And pitch and loudness rise may be observed during repetitions and prolongations. The child may display facial tensions and difficulty initiating airflow or voicing, which is me also. At the beginning stuttering level, the child will show signs of awareness of the stuttering and may be quite frustrated by it. The child may begin using escape behaviors such as head nods, like nods, or blink of the eye, like I be doing when I get into a block. I my eyes twitch and my head shakes in an attempt to terminate the stuttering. Trying to get rid of the stuttering or just get past the stuttering. The child developing negative response to the awareness of stuttering is the factor that leads to continued progression of this disorder. So for the next one is the intermediate stuttering, which is more of a block and repetitions of prolongations that continues. In this stage / level, you feel you're more fearful toward the of the stuttering, and also you become like you have a little bit of shame and embarrassment and stuff like that. I'm going to read a little bit about it. So in this stage, the child will have all of the preceding characteristic plus avoidance behaviors. Conditions to this experience stuttering occurs at this level. Intolerance of the stuttering and avoidance of words and situations begins to appear. Feeling of shame and fear also emerge in this level. So this one is where, like, you know, they're aware of it, they're aware of how it's becoming more of a hassle and a little bit, and you know, and that frustrates them, and you know, and sometimes they feel embarrassed about it, they feel shameful about it. So yeah, like, and then sometimes you avoid certain words, or you avoid certain situations, so you don't talk, so that you don't feel so you don't feel, you know, you don't feel like embarrassed or ashamed, you know, of speaking if you did end up, you know, stuttering. And then the last one is advanced stuttering, which is block, stoppage of airflow, tremors from increased duration of blocks. In this stage, you feel helpless, anger, frustration, and strong negative feeling about yourself, which is not so good. This type of stuttering is the more advanced one. So the child who falls in this category, or this person who falls into this category, requires a generally adult-oriented treatment plan. So I guess, you know, children do go to speech language pathologists, but they have a different approach for kids than they do for adults. So an important point is that the child may progress through these levels without it necessarily being apparent, especially to untrained listeners, that the stuttering is getting worse. Yeah, so the advanced one is the most you know, advanced. You know, it's called advanced for a reason. So you know, in this stage, you know, it's a little bit more, you know, it's like, now, okay, you know that you stutter, and now you're trying to, like, you know, avoid it, you know, in certain situations, and sometimes you just feel helpless and you're angry about it. And you know, in this case, you know, that's where, you know, you probably would want to, you know, go to a speech pathologist, have a talk with them to see what plan can they do that can help you to, you know, work through those emotions, and you know, and all this, and the different ways for you to, you know, improve your speaking. So for me, I think I would fall between the beginning and the intermediate. I say that because I am aware of my stuttering, and you know, sometimes I do get frustrated about it, and sometimes I get a little shameful and stuff like that, and embarrassed. Not as much as I used to, but I mean, there's times where, you know, I feel a little, you know, like, embarrassed about it, but I'm trying to not feel like that anymore, because, you know, I'm trying to move past that, and you know, it's just a process and stuff like that. So yeah, like with the blocks and the repetitions and stuff like that, I feel like I fall between those two, between the beginning and the intermediate phase of stuttering. Yeah, so if you guys want to go through them again and see which one you think you fall between, let me know down below, and you know, we can just talk about it down below. If you have any questions, make sure to leave it down below. Also, and suggestions for new videos and stuff like that, make sure to leave it down below. Just leave everything down below, guys. Make sure to subscribe, like, and comment this video. Thank you so much for coming back and watching this video. I will see you guys on the next one. Okay, thank you. Bye.